Hello guys, welcome to Sports Banter 38. This is Coach Carroll. I have been out of the loop just a bit this week, so what I wanted to do today was a video on the update on the NFL and the way things are going in the playoff race at the moment. We got some big games coming up this Saturday, playoff implications, all that good stuff. Starting off with at 3:30 p.m. Washington going to Tennessee to play the Tennessee Titans. The Titans have to win this game. They have to win next week in order to get into the playoffs. And the good thing about next week's game, provided the Titans and the Colts both win this week, I think either way you look at it, the Titans, whether the Colts win or not, because they hold the tiebreaker, but next week, as long as they both win this week and Baltimore loses, then the winner of that game will get the last wild card spot, which puts a big target on that game next week. Should be a huge game, and also brings me to the next game on Saturday. Saturday night, you got the Baltimore Ravens going to the Los Angeles Chargers, which is another huge game with playoff implications, and a game that both Tennessee and Indianapolis need Baltimore to lose. Baltimore at 8-6, Tennessee at 8-6, and the Colts at 8-6. Baltimore with the tiebreaker, so they need the Chargers to lose that game. The Ravens to lose that game to have a shot to get into the playoffs. So, should be a big game this upcoming week. Some games from last week that were pretty huge. Cleveland beating Denver 17-16. Baker Mayfield is continuing to improve. It was against a quality defense yesterday. He was 18 of 31 for 188 yards and 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Baker Mayfield is starting to live up to his hype a little bit this season. He was my early pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm not quite sure if he has done enough to get that, but if he wins these last couple weeks and they are at least in the discussion of the playoffs, then that'll be huge for Baker Mayfield and his chances at winning Rookie of the Year. So that's a pretty big deal there. Talking about the Colts and the Titans, they both actually pitched shutouts this past week. Indianapolis winning 23-0 over Dallas. Of course, Andrew Luck doing his thing, but the big thing is Marlon Mack, who had 139 yards on 27 attempts with 2 touchdowns. Pretty big game for him. But the biggest story is the defense, the way the defense played, and Tennessee shutting out the New York Giants 17-0, with the big story there being Derrick Henry with 33 carries for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns, and for the second week in a row, he has really come around and has looked like one of the premier backs in the NFL, which is really huge. Another playoff implication game, Minnesota defeating Miami 41-17. Miami was actually on pace with Tennessee and Indianapolis with that 6-loss mark, and this loss made 7, which puts them behind in this playoff race. New Orleans was able to defeat Carolina in a tough 12-9 victory. I knew that was going to be a tough game for New Orleans on the road, so New Orleans was able to pull through in that game. Looking forward to this week, we have Pittsburgh going to New Orleans, which is another huge game with playoff implications for both teams. New Orleans is fighting to get the #1 seed in the NFC. Pittsburgh is fighting to get into the playoffs, as it looks like in the AFC North. Who is it? Baltimore or... I have to look at the division standings on this one. Let's see. Anyway, with an 8-5 record, Pittsburgh, they need to win to stay, to stay in the hunt for the playoffs. And like I said, New Orleans has to win to stay, to keep pace and take the NFC #1 seed and get home field advantage all the way through. Kansas City in the same boat at 11-3, going to Seattle. That will be a tough game for them. But Seattle at 8-6, they're also fighting for the playoffs. So that should be a really good game for Sunday night. Anyway, we got a really good week of football coming up in the NFL, along with some of the bowl games in college. I know it's still some of the lower level bowl games, but some bowl games nonetheless. And NFL football, it's the time of the year you're getting NFL football on Saturday and Sunday. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for my NFL update and preview of this week's games. A lot of playoff implications this week and next week. So it should be a little bit a higher level of football these next couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to seeing some of these games. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. Let me know what you think. Try to get us to 100 likes on this video if we can. That shouldn't be too hard to do. Anyway, guys, like I said, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your take on these past games this weekend and the games coming up this weekend. Who are your favorites to prevail and make it to the playoffs? And I'd love to hear what you got to say. Anyway, guys, this is Sports Banner 38. I am Coach Carroll, and we are out.